Previously, I had done a review on the Meze Elite headphones, calling them my favorite headphones to wear. One thing about audiophile headphones is that they're not so great for travel and portability. IEMs have traditionally been the go-to option for this purpose. Now, the challenge with getting something that's good for travel or commuting is that there's always going to have to be a compromise between amplification, comfort, and sound. However, Meze is looking to address this issue with the second generation of their Liric headphones, which we're going to take a look at today. Are these going to be the ultimate solution for those traveling audiophiles? So before we get into the review, I want to give a quick disclaimer. Meze did send this unit for review. However, they haven't been able to see or alter this video before it was published. So all thoughts and opinions are my own. I don't get to keep the headphones, so there's been no exchange of services. As with all things in life, there needs to be a purpose. Based on how the Liric has been presented, that purpose is travel or commuting. So of course, with this closed back design, you get a bit of isolation, but this is nowhere near what a noise canceling headphone will do. Now in the package, you get a standard 3.5mm cable and a copper 4.4mm cable. This is a balanced cable. For the 3.5 cable, you also have a 1/4-inch adapter and adapter for your airplane seats. So both cables are about 1.3 meters or slightly over 4 feet in length, which is probably the sweet spot that the cable will reach wherever you need to, depending on where you're sitting, or if you have, say, your DAP in your pocket or in your backpack. And also, if you're on a plane, you won't get too tangled up when you need to take a mid-flight bathroom break. The 4.4mm copper cable is a braided design, which gives it a premium look and feel. And this is the cable you're going to want to use if you're traveling with, say, a DAP, or if you're going to be using your Liric on your personal setup at home. Given that its intended purpose is as a travel headphone, it is a bit unfortunate that the 3.5mm cable doesn't have the same design, as it'll likely be used more often, as this is what you're going to take with you when you're traveling. However, I think the thinking with like the thicker tubing instead of the braided design is that while it sacrifices some things in looks and comfort, it will benefit from better durability. If you really want a 3.5mm braided cable, you'll have to buy these from Meze. They do offer various cables, or you can toss a few bucks to your favorite cable builder on eBay or Etsy. Probably my favorite thing though is that both these cables come with cable ties, which all companies should provide with their headphones at all times. You do get a drawstring pouch for your different cables and your accessories, and the case is a clamshell case which provides sufficient storage so you won't lose these accessories too easily. Speaking of cases, I would say this offers a good amount of protection, especially if you're just tossing your headphones in your backpack with a variety of other items. It's definitely better than the protection that comes with other popular travel headphones like the Sony XM5s or the Apple AirPods Max, which is honestly quite laughable as a case that's supposed to protect your $500 headphones. I would say it's about in line with the case that comes with Bose's Quiet Comfort line of headphones. However, unlike what I surmise is its direct competitor, the Dan Clark Aeon series, the Liric does not have ear cups that fold in. Therefore, it will take a considerable amount of space in whatever bag you put it in. It does have a loop on top if you're so bold to clamp your $2,000 headphones to the outside of your bag. So one thing I think is important when you're designing travel headphones or headphones for commuting is making them super easy to drive, and I'm happy to say that the Liric is really easy to drive. I've used these with cheap Bluetooth receivers, plugging them directly into monitors, plugging them into headphone ports, and no matter what the source is, these perform really well. All in all, I think these are a great choice for the traveling audiophile. I do think the Aeon 2 Noir or the Aeon series edges these out in terms of portability and of course price. But that brings us to the next key area, which is the sound. So I was happy to speak with some of the Meze team at CamGen Singapore when I received the review unit. So they mentioned their goal with the second edition of the Liric was to create a more neutral sound, but still kept the characteristics of that classic, warm, pleasing Meze sound. Alright, so the technology driving this is the quarter wavelength resonator mask, or QWRM, which covers specific openings in the driver frame, with the goal being to attenuate frequencies in the 7 kHz range to minimize fatigue for long-term listening sessions. Or in short, your headphones should be helping you in your vain attempts to try to sleep through your flight. Alright, before I talk about the sound, I always like to point out my personal biases when it comes to judging the sound of headphones. To me, headphones are either something that is a tool or something for leisure. As a tool, I consider a headphone something to be used for audio mixing. Now, I don't think this is necessarily the intended goal of the Meze Liric, but it is functional in this purpose. There isn't any distinct coloration of any frequencies, and I'd feel fairly confident to do some EQ on these when I'm editing a video or I need to mix my audio. Although I think these days the AI overlords, as I mentioned before, are taking over a lot of this work. Now, if I was to use these for location recording, this would probably be definitely overkill, But hey, maybe if you got that fat paycheck, maybe you're the sound mixer on Oppenheimer and you're getting in all those residuals, why not get a $2,000 pair of monitors to take on set? On the enjoyment side, yeah, one of the key listening sessions for me with these headphones was weekend 2 of Coachella. I was watching it. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a bass head. I do like the mid-range, the low end. I'm not so particular about the treble or the high end. One thing I can say I enjoyed right away was I really liked the impact and slam I got out of these. Now, in terms of more of the low end, there was a little bit to be desired, but this could have been due to me using glasses and I might have broke the seal a little bit. I listened to these without my glasses. I didn't notice a huge difference, but that's definitely a factor as I'm listening with my glasses, 99% of the time. So the separation and imaging was okay, though I feel on some tracks things tended to sound a little bit meshed together, a bit too much for my liking, but it wasn't anything horrible or too unpleasant. Soundstage as well was pretty solid for a closed back headphone. I really don't expect miracles when it comes to closed back, but it was pretty solid. Now, it's always tough to gauge sound as I basically went from 0 to 100 in my audiophile journey. I started at very entry-level headphones that everyone buys and pretty much jumped to endgame level stuff almost right away. Now, with that said, does the sound on this compete with the top tier, the endgame level stuff? No, it doesn't, but I don't think it's really supposed to. Now, with other headphones in its price range, I think it trades blows, and I definitely think there's better options that are slightly less expensive and within the same price range. But again, I have to go back to the purpose of these headphones, and that is it hits the goal of being one of the best listening experiences that you can bring anywhere with you. And purpose again comes to the next part, which I think is actually the most important part of travel headphones, and that is the comfort. Now, Meze has been the standard bearer for extremely comfortable headphones, but when you're making travel headphones, you need to make some compromises, as you can't look like you have a flight controller's headset on. I do quite enjoy the ear cups. While not as cushioned as the Meze Elite ear cups, they are deep and quite plushy enough to not cause discomfort during long listening sessions. However, the trade-off does seem to come with the headband. The Liric does not have the same suspension style system as the Meze Elite. It's actually just like a solid band across your head. While definitely not as uncomfortable as a headband as the Diana TC, you do start to notice it after some time listening. So after a couple weeks of using the Liric for gaming, music, and video editing, what is the conclusion? At 2000 USD, they do toe the line of endgame headphone pricing, but to be honest, they do kind of look the part. Meze has always been really good at having unique and classy designs for their headphones. So in short, if you're that traveling audiophile that wants a headphone that will work no matter where you are, what source you give it, these are definitely a no-brainer. However, for those listening at home that have built-out setups, you may want to consider how the Liric will fit into your setup. Now, if you're someone that just wants to buy the headphones, doesn't want to buy the DAC or the amp, Lirics are a great choice. But if you're someone that wants to spread out across DACs and amps and wants specific sound signatures, then maybe Liric isn't the best fit for you. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and as always, catch you next time.